Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Norwich Unicorns pregame show presented by SCR Structures and Sheds. It's a Saturday night in the Rose City. Norwich back home here for the first time on a Saturday night. A rain out last night in Nashua. You know, Norwich, they're ready to go. A little extra time off, a little rest. You know, they certainly could have used it. Not the couple of games they would have liked. They surrendered 20 runs to Vermont in the final two games of that series. It's a well-rested Norwich Unicorn group because for the first time in 2025, they're going to debut those Norwich City Connect uniforms. A lot on tap for you here on the pregame show. When we return, we're going to chat with the general manager of the Norwich Unicorns, Lee Walter. He's going to break down those City Connect uniforms. It's Norwich and the Worcester Bravehearts here tonight, 6:30 first pitch. And then stick with us, a fireworks spectacle following the conclusion of tonight's game. Those, as always, presented by Liberty Bank. A lot more ahead on the SCR Structures and Sheds pregame show.
Looking for the perfect shed? Come to SCR Structures and Sheds in North Franklin. Whether you're buying or renting to own, we've got you covered with 90 days, same as cash, and guaranteed price matching on any competitor's advertised shed of the same quality. That's scr-structures.com. That's SCR Structures and Sheds, built right, priced right, right here in North Franklin. scr-structures.com.
Welcome back to the Norwich Unicorns pregame show presented by SCR Structures and Sheds. Joined now by the general manager, the back-to-back Future League champion Norwich Unicorns, Lee Walter, is with us. Well, we have some new uniforms here in 2025, the Norwich City Connect. How did this idea come together? It really looks quite nice.
Yeah, so every offseason we toy around with some different ideas for new promotions and things like that. We tossed around a few different jersey ideas for this year to work with the community, and we landed on these Norwich Connect jerseys that we think came out really sharp to signify both the Rose of New England, which is Norwich's nickname, as well as the Three Rivers that Norwich is so well known for.
Yeah, let's take a look at this uniform right here. The red and the blue mixing in there quite nicely, and then the Rose of New England right at the front. Is there certain highlights, certain features of this uniform you want to point out to the fans?
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, we'd like to thank our sponsor for these jerseys, Dime Bank. They're a great partner of ours, and they've loved the opportunity to get onto the sleeve of the jersey, so you could kind of see that right on the right sleeve there. And then, like you mentioned, the Rose of New England, it's Norwich's nickname. They've been known as that for over 100 years. So that's what we emblazoned the front of the jersey with. Went with the red color because of the red rose. And then the blue that's on the jerseys, each sleeve represents a different river that comes into Norwich, the Yantic and the Shetikit. They come together to make the Thames River, which is emblazoned on the back as far as that river leading from Norwich down to the Long Island Sound. So I'll turn around for a quick second just so you can see that black, blue in the back there as well.
Yeah, these came together quite nicely. Once again, the general manager of the Norwich Unicorns, Lee Walter. Hopefully this Rose of New England has some good luck for Norwich tonight. They will debut them for the first time in 2025. First pitch coming at you, 6:30 local time. When we come back on the other side of the break, new manager in town, Kyle Dombrowski. He was the associate manager last season. He's back. He's the new field manager. We'll chat with him when we come back on the SCR Structures and Sheds pregame show.
Looking for the perfect shed? Come to SCR Structures and Sheds in North Franklin. Whether you're buying or renting to own, we've got you covered with 90 days, same as cash, and guaranteed price matching on any competitor's advertised shed of the same quality. That's scr-structures.com. That's SCR Structures and Sheds, built right, priced right, right here in North Franklin. scr-structures.com.
Welcome back to the Norwich Unicorns pregame show presented by SCR Structures and Sheds. Well, let's stick on the topic of new. Yeah, the boys, they're debuting those Norwich City Connect uniforms for the first time here tonight. But there's a new skipper in town. That's right, Kyle Dombrowski, the associate manager. He's back in Norwich as the field manager. Kevin Murphy, he's taken over the director of player development role. Let's take a listen now to what Kyle Dombrowski had to say about his return to Norwich, his excitement for the opportunity, and what it's going to take for the boys to get back on track here tonight. Joined alongside the manager of the Norwich Unicorns, Kyle Dombrowski. Dembro, good to have you back here in 2025. I know you were just at Holy Cross. You just won the Patriots League. How fun was that experience?
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, unforgettable for sure. Set some records as an offense, but just a great group to go out with, especially a group of seniors that came in and only won 6 games their first year in the league. So for them to be able to go out and set a school record for most Patriot League victories was great. And just really, really was awesome to be a part of.
A pretty incredible run. You got to go into the NCAA tournament, play some high-caliber opponents. What's it like to see some of those teams in the tournament?
It shows you that's where you want to be at the end of the year. So, you're going to have to go on the road and win some really, really hard games. Unfortunately, we didn't get it done this year, but either way, it gave a taste to some of our younger guys as well of what that looks like. And that's where we want to be year over year.
You're back in the Rose City once again. You were a part of this championship run last season under the direction of Kevin Murphy. How much does that make you comfortable coming back to Norwich, organization you've already been a part of, and now to take that role as the field manager?
Yeah, I mean, there's no other place I want to be. Norwich has always been circled for me as a place I want to come in and, make a mark and hopefully can take the reins from Murph a little bit after the last 2 years. But I think we got a good group in here, so now it's a matter of just building relationships and being able to use that and, go out and perform day after day.
You won this Futures League championship with Coach Murph last year. To win the league the way this group did it in walk-off fashion, I guess, how does that help you out coming back here in 2025 and to see what it takes to win this league?
Yeah, walk-offs are cool. I guess that's something that I like to be a part of. It's the same way that we did it at Holy Cross this year, actually, was a walk-off. So there's no other kind of environment like it. I mean, for everyone to be able to dogpile after the guy that just got the big hit. So it's a very energetic moment, and I hope to take that energy into this year.
You've been in the Futures League for a number of years, also with Westfield. What has the trajectory of this league been like since you've entered the Futures League? Yeah,
we lost Pittsfield, obviously, so it stinks to lose a team there. But I think, if anything, it's just made everyone a little bit more competitive just because you're going to have to see teams day in and day out a little bit more than you did in the past. But I think the league is continuing to progress in the right direction. The talent level is better than it ever has been, and I see that continuing for a long time.
One last one for you. You'll see the Worcester Bravehearts here tonight. How important is it for this group to get a big win here at home?
Every game's big, especially in this league. So just got to go out and win inning 1 and continue to progress from there. But, just looking to build some momentum heading into the weekend and heading into the off day.
Unicorn fans, that is the manager of the Norwich Unicorns, Kyle Dombrowski. Dembro, as always, thanks for the time and best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
Always great chatting with Dembro. So nice to have him back here in Norwich. He was such a big part of the coaching staff. Last year we saw him as the third base coach, the associate manager, of course. But he's the new skipper, the new field manager. Excited to have him back here. Just his second game with Norwich this season. That's going to wrap things up on the SCR Structures and Sheds pregame show. When we return, starting lineup, first pitch. It's right around the corner.
You buy better. Better it burns. Much better. So much better it burns. The right insurance at the right price. You buy better it burns. You buy better it burns. You buy better.
The Burns Agency is a full-service organization with insurance products ranging from business owner policy needs to personal insurance like home, auto, and umbrella. Some companies can make that a one-stop shop. That's why we value partnering with insurance companies like Arbella Insurance. Like us, they offer a range of insurance coverage for our valued clients. Having your most valuable assets covered by a single insurance carrier, serviced by a local agent, is priceless. The Burns Agency proudly partners with Arbella to bring you insurance coverage at competitive pricing. The Burns Agency, proudly serving Eastern Connecticut since 1932.
Better it burns. Much better. So much better it burns. The right insurance at the right price. You buy better it burns. You buy better it burns. You buy better.
Strain Family Motors has arrived. They're your local auto super center. Put some excitement in your day and rent a Polaris Slingshot from Strain Family Motors, adjacent to the Green Onion Restaurant on River Road. Check out Strain Family Motors Super Center on Facebook as well as strainfamilymotors.com for everything sales, service, and excitement. River Road, Lisbon, Strain Family Motors, your local auto super center.
It's a fly ball down the right field line. It's a fair ball. Soldier has the green light rounding third. He's going to come all the way home and score! The Norwich Unicorns are back-to-back Future League champions. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Dodd Stadium. Unfortunately, today's game, due to the weather conditions here in eastern Connecticut, have officially been postponed. So Norwich, who did not play last night, they will not play today either. They are scheduled to play again tomorrow, 1 o'clock start against the New Britain Bees on the road tomorrow at New Britain Stadium. So Norwich will look to right the ship tomorrow after a couple of tough outings coming against the Vermont Lake Monsters. Norwich right now 3-4 through their first 7 contests. Game number 8's had to take some time. We've had to wait a little bit for that 8th game of the season to roll around, and we hope, fingers crossed, the weather will hold up and Norwich will be back in business tomorrow against their in-state rival New Britain Bees. Norwich looking to find the answers after surrendering 20 runs over their last 2 games, and we were able to speak with Coach Dombrowski on today's pregame show, and right now he's still trying to learn some of the fellas on this group coming from Holy Cross, a Holy Cross team that won the Patriots League, and that's the big thing for manager Kyle Dombrowski. You have to understand, for Unicorn fans that might not know him yet, you're going to get to know him quite well throughout this summer, but he has a winning track record. He's won at the places that he's gotten to. He won the Futures League last year in Norwich. He has plenty of experience in the Futures League. He was with Westfield for a couple of years before taking the associate manager position last season under the direction of Coach Kevin Murphy, and he really learned a lot from him. He's excited to take the reins as the field manager here this season, and then he goes to Holy Cross. He was their volunteer assistant coach, and he ultimately was promoted to become one of their assistant coaches with some of the coaching changes that were made at Holy Cross, and boy, did they have a big season. They surprised a lot of people. It was a Holy Cross team that only won 6 games in 2024. They won the Patriots League, and then they made their way into the NCAA tournament, played some top-end teams, and were very competitive in the tournament in the opening round. So he's still learning about this Norwich Unicorn group, trying to understand the players that he has on this roster, and really find a way to get this group rolling here. He has high expectations for this team, not only short term here, week to week, to get that next win under their belt, but he wants to take this team on a deep run in the postseason. There's plenty to look forward to for this Norwich group, and maybe this couple of days off is a good thing for this group to recalibrate a little bit and just get some extra prep work in, some extra batting practice in. Unfortunately, no field work has been able to be put in right now because of this inclement weather, but just to take a step back, not have to play a couple of games, which I think for this group takes them away from that continuous game after game after game. Breathe a little bit and just get right back to work here tomorrow afternoon. 12:45 will be the pregame show. We'll be with you on the road tomorrow. You can tune into our audio-only broadcast on the Futures League Network. It'll also be picked up live on YouTube on SN Sports, as well as with 321 Media out of Westerly, Rhode Island. We're excited to partner with them as well this season. And then make sure you tune in on the radio with 321 Media on Monday. I'll be there with them, a little radio show to help talk about some Norwich Unicorn baseball. And you never know, we might have some special guests there. So make sure you tune in. 321 Media out of Westerly, Rhode Island. They'll be picking up our games the rest of the way here in 2025. So we can't wait to speak with you tomorrow afternoon. Norwich and the New Britain Bees. For the first time here in 2025, those two in-state rivals will get a chance to square off with one another. Norwich was expected to start the Yale product Ben Winslow. Winslow threw a shutout against those Worcester Bravehearts last Friday at Fitton Field. He went 4 innings in that ball game for the Sea Unicorns. He allowed just 2 hits. He walked 1. He struck out 4. He faced 17 batters in the ballgame. Opponents hit just 235 against him. That was the Worcester lineup last Friday. The Bravehearts were expected to throw out of the Rhode Island College Jason Potvin. Potvin in 5 2/3 innings so far this summer. That was a start in which he suffered the loss against the Vermont Lake Monsters. So we'll see if he gets his start pushed back tomorrow for those Worcester Bravehearts. We'll take a timeout here. When we return, we'll get you set for tomorrow afternoon. Norwich and New Britain on the road. Stick with us. Some more to come here. Despite the game being postponed here today, we'll chat with you and get you set. Everything you need to know for the Unicorns heading into tomorrow's matinee ball game on Sunday. It's the Unicorns and the New Britain Bees. You're listening to the Norwich Unicorns on the Futures League Baseball Network and listening live on SN as well as on 321 Media. We'll be back in just a couple moments.
It's the Make This the Summer event going on now at Falvey's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Norwich. Make this the summer that you try something new and fun. Make this the summer you say I do to a new vehicle that you can custom order online at falveys.com or stop into the dealership. Falvey's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Norwich, just down the road from Mohegan Sun.
Falvey's, you're gonna love it.
Unicorn fans, want to watch the Unicorns like a VIP? Book a Dodd Stadium luxury suite, perfect for business outings, birthdays, or a night out with friends. Enjoy indoor and outdoor seating, a flat screen TV, your own private server, and the option to pre-order from our catering menu, all while catching every pitch in comfort. Order your luxury suite today for just $500 for up to 20 guests, or go big with a double suite for $900 and bring 40. Don't miss out. Call now, 860-887-7962, and reserve your suite today. Welcome back to our postponed coverage here of the Norwich Unicorns. Adam Plager, glad I can be with you, at least talking to you here on this Saturday night. Certainly unfortunate we would have had some post-game fireworks today, and we would have gotten to see those Norwich Unicorns City Connect uniforms debut for the first time here in 2025. Well, I guess we'll have to take a rain check on that, literally, figuratively, until June 20th is the next time the Norwich Unicorns will get to debut those City Connect uniforms. Here's a look at the dates for the Norwich City Connect uniforms that they will be worn this season. June 20th is the first time, I guess. Good things are worth waiting for, and that does not stop here with these City Connect uniforms. June 20th, Norwich will host the Friday night against, these Worcester Bravehearts. So, unfortunately, not on this makeup date here, June 7th, but it will be on June 20th when the Worcester Bravehearts return to Norwich, and we'll get to see them in action for the first time here this season. The expectation is to see Ben Winslow take the mound for Norwich tomorrow against the New Britain Bees. New Britain's game has also been delayed due to rain, so that game currently in a delay. They are playing the Nashua Silver Knights. I'm not sure if that game will get in. And live right now, the Westfield Starfires and the Vermont Lake Monsters are scoreless in the bottom of the second inning. That's going to wrap things up here on our postponed coverage of the Norwich Unicorns, as they will be back in action tomorrow. We'll talk to you at 12:45 Eastern Time. Tune in to us on 321 Media on the Futures League Baseball Network, and watching live, or listening live, I should say, tomorrow on YouTube on SN Sports. Once again, I'm Adam Plager saying so long and good night here from Dodd Stadium on this Saturday night.